Every single day, my neighbor screamed criminal at me until I realized she was right. For 3 weeks, I'd been unlocking someone else's house. And the person who made that happen was the last one I'd ever suspect her teenage son. My name's Kevin Parker. I'm 45, a software architect who works from home. My wife, Julie's a nurse pulling night shifts most of the week, so I spend a lot of evenings alone. We just bought a quiet corner home outside of any HOA. That was the dream. No rules, no nosy neighbors, no one telling me what color my mailbox had to be. Peace and quiet. But what I got was the total opposite. It started with this brass key. I found it in my mailbox one Monday night, wrapped carefully in tissue paper, no note attached. It looked expensive, old-fashioned, heavy, almost identical to my front door key, but not quite. Out of curiosity, I slipped it into the lock, and it turned. Smooth as butter. I even chuckled to myself, thinking, what are the odds? Then I heard it. Criminal, stop. You're breaking into someone's house. I turned and saw her storming across the lawn like a suburban SWAT officer. Victoria White. Perfect gray suit, platinum bob, HOA badge on her lapel like a sheriff's star. She pointed her clipboard at me as if it were a weapon. Lady, I said half laughing, this is my house. Her voice shook with conviction. No, you don't belong here. At first, I thought she was just another power-tripping HOA type, the kind of person who treats rulebooks like holy scripture. But when she saw that brass key in my hand, her entire expression changed from anger to pure terror. It's back, she whispered. It found me again. Then she started crying. I froze halfway between calling 911 and just walking away. That's when a teenage boy appeared from her garage. Blonde hair, calm expression, maybe 17. Mom, it's okay, he said softly, putting a hand on her shoulder. It's just a neighbor. You're safe. His voice was calm, too calm, like he'd done this before. I'm sorry, mister, he asked. Parker. Kevin Parker. Mr. Parker, he said with a polite smile that key triggers my mother's trauma. Family history stuff, she'll be okay. I apologized, pocketed the key, and went inside, trying to laugh the encounter off. But something about that boy stuck with me. The way he looked at me, studying me, not scared, not shy. Calculating. The next morning, I woke up to what looked like a government inspection team in my yard. 3 vehicles. Men with clipboards, measuring my grass, photographing my mailbox, and leading them Victoria, of course, looking like she was about to arrest me for existing. Mr. Parker, she announced, this is a mandatory compliance review. I don't belong to any HOA, I said. She lifted her chin. Suspicious activity supersedes consent. That was her exact phrase, and she meant it. They fined me $900 for unauthorized door access patterns. Basically for using my own front door. By then, the neighbors had gathered to film the whole thing. One woman even live-streamed it, calling me the strange man defying the HOA. I remember standing there, my coffee going cold, wondering how this was even real. Later that week, Tyler, that polite teenage son, showed up at my door with a backpack. Mr. Parker, he said we should talk privately. Mom's planning legal escalation. I can help you. He looked so sincere that I let him in. He told me his mom had been through hell, hospitalized after his dad left, manipulated, humiliated, now paranoid about security. She's not dangerous, he said, just broken. I actually felt bad for her. Tyler even gave me his father's name, Robert Miller, a successful attorney, and suggested I reach out. Dad understands Mom's condition, he said. He can help diffuse things peacefully. And that's how I met Robert. Polished guy, mid-50s expensive suit, framed diplomas behind him. He greeted me with this calm, reassuring voice that made me want to believe him. Victoria has control issues, he said. She creates danger fantasies to cope with trauma. My son and I just want to help her heal. He offered me legal documents proving the HOA had overstepped its authority. He said we could help Victoria by showing her boundaries, not by attacking her. It sounded reasonable, compassionate. He even said, Tyler will help you present it. She listens better when things are visual. That night, Tyler came over again, helping me organize a presentation for the HOA meeting. He filmed everything, saying it would help Mom's therapist analyze triggers. I should have seen how weird that was, but I didn't. Julie did. She looked at Tyler like a nurse assessing a patient. "He's too composed," she whispered. 17-year-olds don't talk like that." I shrugged. "He's mature for his age." She frowned, or trained. I didn't want to hear it. I was tired, stressed, trying to survive a week of being called a criminal by my own neighbor. Then came the moment that changed everything. One evening, Julie was sorting mail. "Kevin," she said quietly, "why does the postman keep delivering our letters to 1247 Maple?" I laughed. "Probably a mistake. Ours is 1247. She looked up sharply. "No, it's 1248. We pulled out the deed. 1248 Maple Street, not 1247. My stomach turned cold. I ran outside, heart pounding. The house number next to the door, 1247. I'd been living in Victoria's home for 3 weeks. Everything hit me at once, her screaming criminal every morning, her trembling at the sight of my key, the inspection crew. She wasn't crazy. I was the intruder. At 12:48 sharp, Tyler appeared like he'd been waiting for that exact moment. He smiled, not the polite, empathetic smile I'd seen before. This one was sharp, deliberate. "Congratulations, Mr. Parker," he said. "You finally found your real house." He opened his laptop and hit play. My blood ran cold. There I was on video unlocking Victoria's door. Day after day, morning and night. 3 weeks of footage. "I've been documenting your break-ins," Tyler said. "Every single one." Neighbors started gathering again, watching as he showed the clips. "This man accused my mother of being crazy while invading her home daily," he told them. Victoria collapsed to her knees, sobbing. The crowd looked at me like I was a monster. And honestly, I couldn't even blame them. "Why are you doing this?" I demanded. Tyler's smile never wavered. "Because you were the perfect weapon." The words didn't make sense, not yet. He turned the laptop toward me again, showing folders labeled Phase 1, Trigger Mechanism, and Phase 2, Community Reversal. "You think this was about you," he said softly. "This was about her." Later, when I confronted him, the truth spilled out in the most horrifying way possible. Tyler and his father had been running a psychological operation against Victoria, his own mother. Robert wanted full custody, and to get it, he needed proof she was mentally unstable. "Dad taught me love means control," Tyler said like it was scripture. "Control means eliminating resistance." He pulled out a small wooden box from his backpack, Victoria's memory box. Inside were letters from her late mother, family photos, a brass key. Every time Mom felt calm, he said, "I left this key somewhere she'd see it." Every time she got community support, I'd mention her mother's death anniversary. It kept her on edge. Perfect data for court. I felt sick. I told him he was torturing his own mother. He tilted his head like I'd said something naive. "I'm proving her unfit." "Courts don't care about emotions, Mr. Parker. They care about patterns." And that's when he said something that froze me completely. "Breaking her was just practice. Wait till you see what we planned for your wife, Julie." I didn't even think. I hit record on my phone, keeping him talking while pretending to stay calm. He described everything, the filming, the manipulation, how Robert coached him to use community gossip as leverage. The entire operation was built to destroy Victoria and anyone who defended her. That night, Julie and I compiled every recording, every message, every file he'd shown me. We went straight to Victoria's house. She looked half broken, already eyes swollen from crying, clutching that brass key. "Victoria, I said you need to see this." I played the audio. Tyler's voice filled the room, calm, proud, cold, describing every step of how he'd broken her. Her hands started trembling, but she didn't look surprised, just devastated. "My own son," she whispered. "He used my mother's letters against me." We presented everything at the emergency HOA meeting the next night. The same crowd that once called me a criminal sat frozen as the truth unraveled. I stood before them, voice shaking but steady. "Tyler and Robert orchestrated all of this," I said. "They used me, they used you, they used her trauma to build a custody case." Tyler tried to spin it, claiming it was therapy documentation, but then the recording played. Breaking her was just practice. You could hear the air leave the room. Victoria couldn't even look at him. She just said quietly, "You destroyed me, Tyler, and I still love you." Police arrived minutes later. Robert was arrested for abuse conspiracy and evidence tampering. Tyler was taken into juvenile custody, though I doubt any institution can fix what his father built inside him. After that night, the neighborhood changed. Victoria's garden bloomed again. The brass key, once a symbol of fear, sat buried under her favorite rosebush. 6 months later, I finally stood on the porch of my real home, 1248 Maple. Sometimes she waves from across the street. Sometimes I wave back. But last week, Julie found something on our doorstep, a brass key identical to the first one, tied with a note that simply said, "Some lessons never end. A friend." I don't know if it was a sick joke, a warning, or something worse. But I'll tell you this, never assume the craziest person in the neighborhood is the one you should be afraid of. Sometimes the quiet ones are just waiting for the perfect moment to turn the lock.